Okay, hey Team 25, I want to give you a lesson on how to pack a dishwasher because that's really important to... Hang on, that's not right. Hang on.
Try and get your kids to watch it.
Something like that.
Not funny.
Yeah.
Not funny.
Trading candle. Hang on, it was how to make perfect mocha. This thing's called the grip head. Once you clean it out, put the coffee in there. And you're not trying to squash the coffee down, you're just trying to get it gently pressed down, okay? That's called tamping. Just gently, not trying to squash it into the bottom. Clean it off. It's okay, they didn't break. And of course, my most important ingredient. There we go. Still doesn't feel right though. Oh yeah, now I remember. It was something to do with multiplication, wasn't it? Stuff we're doing on the board today. Alright, I want us to get hold of that and understand it better, so I thought I might watch it. Put a video on for you guys, alright? So what was our first example? Something like 3 times 4 equals 12. Oops. Okay, can we see that? No, we can't. Let's put it over there. Let's move all this stuff out of the way as well. Okay, so you can see 3 times 4 equals 12. Alright, there we go. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, 3 columns. So 3 times 4 equals 12. Let's write it down. Done like that. I'm going to go 4 times 3. Because I'm going to use the 4 with our rows, okay? Everything's going to be times 3 because there's 3 in each row. We're going to talk about the number of rows. Okay, so 4 times 3 equals 12. We could even check it by counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You trust me. I trust you. Okay. Now let's pretend I'm going to... Oh, can you see that? Yeah, that's right. I've chosen the wrong colour. Okay, so we've still got 12 little cards there, okay? But now we have just one row of 3. So 1 times 3 equals 3. and we're left with 3 more rows of 3. So 3 times 3 equals 9. Okay? Now the way I was doing it today might look confusing. Let's try it like this. So 1 plus 3 gives us 4 times 3 equals 3 plus 9. Oops, you can't see what I'm writing, sorry. Equals 12. Okay? Now I know this is just a simple example of the number 12. 4 times 3 equals 1 times 3 plus 3 times 3. But multiplication works this way. We can use this technique to add up much bigger numbers for multiplication. It's sort of a bit of a stepping stone to doing bigger multiplication problems for you guys. Okay? I want you to see that multiplication can be broken up into chunks to get to your final answer. Okay, let's try another one. Of course they're upside down, aren't they? What do we got? I'll try to make it look relatively neat so they're all in rows. We'll just make another array. We've done arrays plenty of times before, previous years. What have I got? Okay. Yeah, that works. Okay, so we now have an array here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. So I'm going to call that 6 times 5 equals 30. Can we see that? Let's just squeeze that over a little bit more. Okay, so we can see that 6 times 5 equals 30. So I can choose any number of my rows and flip them over and we'll make a different sum. So I'm going to do these two. So you saw I just flipped them over, I didn't change anything around, it's still the same array. There's still 30 cards there, okay? So now I have, how many rows of 5? I have 2 times 5 equals 10. What do I have left over? 1, 2, 3, 4 times 5 equals 20. 2 plus 4 is 6. Sorry. 10 plus 20 equals our 30. Sorry, it's a bit on a funny angle. It's hard for me to write, so I'm sort of reaching around the camera while I'm doing this at this time. So here's another example. So 6 times 5 equals 30, but we can split that 6 up. We can split it into a 2 and a 4. As we can see, there's 2 rows here. 2 times 5 equals 10. There's 4 rows of 5 here. We're all good with our 5 times tables. 4 times 5 equals 20. 2 plus 4 equals 6. 6 times 5 equals 30. Same as up here. But it's this step in the middle where we can split the times table up to smaller numbers. So pretend you didn't know your 6 times tables, but you knew your 2's and your 4's. And I said to you, what's 6 times 5? And you don't know. Well, you can break it up. So pretend the sum was, let's go for a tricky one. Not too tricky though. Pretend the sum was, let's go to our 8 times tables. So pretend I asked you what is 3 times 8. Most of you probably know that from your 3. Okay, let's go for a different one. Let's go 6 8s. If 6 are tricky and 8s are tricky, we'll go with 6 by 8, okay? What does it equal? I don't know. I don't know my 6s and I don't know my 8s. But what I do know is my 2s, because I'm really good at my 2 times tables. So 6 times 8 is going to become 2 times 8 plus 2 times 8 plus 2 times 8. Let's ignore these for a moment. Go away. So, can you see that? So 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals my 6. All I've done is I've split up my 6 into times tables that I know. I'm better with my 2s. You might want to do it as a turnaround, 8 times 2 instead of 2 times 8. We know it's the same answer there. 2 times 8, double 8, or 8 times 2 is 16. Okay? Now, to work that out, we've got a couple of ways of doing it. I could say that there's 10, 20, 30, and 6, 12, 18, because I can count by my 6s. I know that 3 times 6 is 18. So 30 plus 18 equals 48. Okay? You might want to go do a bit of chunking. Actually, I think that's just what I just did. Okay? We might want to line them up in a nice traditional algorithm. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. Carry the 10 to the tens column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 48. Okay? So can you see that by splitting up that 6 into the 2s, it makes it possible for us to do a bigger times table. Alright, that's probably enough for now. I'll give you more examples tomorrow. Or will I?